Toll-free directory assistance. Please say the name of the listing you want.
Dr.Phill Show.
Here's the number for Dr.Phill, 800-490-2210.
That is not my number. We are in the middle of a nationwide scheme.
All new today, a 2-day event.
I don't appreciate you people saying that you produced the Dr.Phill Show.
It's the latest 800 number scam.
Dr.Phill session line.
Selling fake phone sessions with Dr.Phill and Robin.
She said that Dr.Phill could talk to me on the phone.
Speak to Dr.Phill is $750.
Now,
We're getting ready to bust these ladies.
Dr.Phill setting up a sting.
You people are in trouble. You've been defrauding my viewers.
I don't think so. Get out of my face.
You don't tell him what to do.
I don't appreciate what you're doing.
I don't appreciate you ripping off my viewers. Coming up. Let's do it. I want you to get excited about your life.
Here we go. Intense.
Stand by, camera 6.
If you're going to talk to me, you're going to have to be honest.
Stand by, Dr. Phill.
Showtime. This is going to be a changing day in your life. You hear about scams all the time. Emails and voicemails saying, you've just won one of 5 valuable prizes. You must send money right away. But in all of my years, I have never been more outraged by what people are doing to me, my family, and my viewers. Over the next 2 days, you'll see what unfolded as I work to get to the bottom of an unbelievable scam. Take a look at all of the phonies trying to make a buck off of my name. This website wants you to take the Dr. Phill quiz for a chance to win $5,000 every hour. And this website claims to have the official Dr. Phill personality test. The site claims I gave this test to Oprah on her show, but that never happened. There's also an 800 number advertised in the back of national tabloid magazines claiming that I can help reconnect you with the love of your life. So I had one of my staff members call this number posing as a husband in need of help.
Hello?
Hello, is this Dr. Robin?
Yes, it is.
Well, you know, my wife had this circled in the paper.
We are psychics and we are astrologers and we do give out free readings.
I think she thought it was Dr. Phill from the TV show.
He does own our corporation. Robin actually is working along with us.
You mean Dr. Phil's wife, Robin?
Exactly, yes.
Is this associated with the Dr. Phill TV show from CBS?
Yeah, exactly. And he owns part of our industry, yes.
But that's not the only 800 number that exists. Apparently, people were calling directory assistants to get an 800 number supposedly that would get them in direct contact with me. But the 800 number given out by the operator led right to the con artist posing as one of my staff. And that's how they found victims and began this phone scam. Renee knows all about this. She wrote me to get advice on her marriage, but instead she found herself sucked up into the middle of a major con job.
I called the Dr. Phill show because of the Man Camp project. It was a way to get more excited about your marriage.
Renee reaching out to the Dr. Phill show was her way of trying to make that connection between her and myself.
So I called information and I asked for the Dr. Phill show. She gave me an 800 number and I called it. A lady named Cher answered the phone. Hey Cher, it's Renee, how are you? She said that she was the director of the Dr. Phill show. She would say, can you please hold? We're about to go to commercial and I need to count down. I'll put you on hold and come back. I've never been involved in television or anything, so I had no way of knowing how things are done. After some of the basic questions, she felt that Dr. Phill could personally talk to me on the phone, but it would be $375 for an hour's worth of counseling. And I'm like, well, that's reasonable. I'll do that. She asked me to Western Union the money. Okay, what location do I call? It wasn't being wired to the Dr. Phill show. It was being wired to a lady named Ann Leap, and I was like, I'm not comfortable sending money to a lady named Ann Lee when this is for counseling for Dr. Phill. Why am I calling a different number? She was like, oh, it's his personal assistant. And I was like, well, okay. I'll call you back with a confirmation. So I went ahead and got the wire done. When we were trying to get the appointment scheduled with Dr. Phill, we couldn't get an appropriate time for him and for me. So it kind of went on for a couple of days. At At this point, I was getting a little antsy, and I wanted some justification of why this keeps running in circles. I want you to send me that fax letter before I call and clear this up, because this is making me nervous. So she faxed me a letter with letterhead and address.
Did you catch that fake fax? It actually said Dr.Phill Robin on the top of the page, and it says Houston, Texas, because they're telling people that we taped the show in Houston. I guess because I'm from Texas, they think that'll sell.
She said, you know what, Dr. Phill thinks that he can make a show out of this. He wants to counsel you and your husband one-on-one in Florida. So we're gonna need another $1,700. And by that time I was like, really? Dr. Phill is still gonna come and see us tomorrow. I haven't sent you this money in vain. You promise. And I said, we need to get this done. So Cher gave me a phone call, and she says, okay, Renee, I'm going to patch Dr. Phill through. So she put this man on the phone that had a southern accent, and he says, I'm going to give you and your husband some great tools. Everything is going to be great. I kind of said, gosh, this really doesn't sound like you, Dr. Phill. And he goes, well, you know, with the cell phones and the studio and the echo and stuff, he goes, but look, everything's going to be great. He goes, I'm going to put you back with Cher. Hi, Cher. That point in time, I was like, this is not right. That man was not Dr. Phill. He was not assertive. He was not articulate. I hung up the phone. I finally got a hold of the real Dr. Phill show, and I let them know that I think I've been scammed.
I called the 800 number, and somebody answered the phone and said, hi, this is the Dr. Phill line. These people are so greedy. It's just amazing.
We are working, you know, to set this up to try to get them.
I am hoping that Dr. Phill can get to the bottom of this.
Coming up, the clues, the setup, the sting, how we get closer to the confrontation. And later, Robin goes undercover as a decoy.
Now, we're wiring Robin up here so we can record things on both sides.
Is this the Dr. Phill show?
Yes, it is.
Oh, awesome.
Unbelievable. These are criminals we're dealing with. So here's what we've learned so far. This 800 number that's listed with 411 information goes to Houston, Texas. Now, the victims were told to wire money to Ann Lee in Houston, and they were just promised everything you could imagine. That I would get on the phone with them, that I would come visit their home, that Robin would be involved with them. Just promises, promises, promises. Now, the scammers use different telephone numbers, and they're operating out of different locations in Houston. They're on the move, very, very hard to track down. They charge $375 for a 1-hour session with me, and there's a woman that's supposedly named Cher who says, oh yeah, I'm the director of the Dr. Phill show. I work with them all the time. Sometimes when she was on the phone, you would even hear somebody in the back counting down to commercial breaks. Unbelievable what these people would do to lure in innocent people. Now, I wanted to hear this voice, so I had my producers get me a recording.
Okay, lady, I got everything taken care of. I'm just waiting for you to connect your fax machine. Call me back as soon as possible. I got the dates for you here, October 10th through the 17th. Call me back, and I'll let you know some more information. Bye. Hey, lady, it's me, Cher, the director from Dr. Phill show. Go ahead and give me a call back as soon as you can. I need to see what's going on. I haven't heard back from you. Bye.
Are you kidding me? To get on there and say she's the director of this show? I cannot believe this is going on. It was so unbelievable that I got Harold Kopis, private investigator, involved, wanted him on the case.
What we've done is we've set up some decoys. We're trying to make contact on the 800 number, wire money to the scammers, see what we can do to identify them.